skipper.
Arsenal unbeaten in all London derbies this season. First time that's happened since 2005. 2 more goals for Martin Ødegaard. He's up to 14 in the Premier League now this season in the 3-1 win against Chelsea. Here is the Arsenal skipper.
Well, Martin, speaking to you before the match, there was a desire to give a proper Arsenal performance. Do you feel like you delivered what you wanted to?
Yeah, I think so. I think especially the first half was brilliant. We came out and we showed a different spirit, different team to last time, basically. So, I'm very happy with the first half, and then second half is a bit messy, I would say. But 3 points and a good win for us. So we needed this one to get back a bit.
So was that City game on your mind then, going out there and putting that right?
Yeah, of course. I think everyone was so hurt, after the game, and we used this anger and the disappointment to get into this game and really bounce back, and I thought we did that, especially in the first half.
What caused the hurt? Obviously, partly it's giving them the initiative in the title race, but also did you feel like you just, going back to that first question, you weren't yourselves? Yeah,
exactly. I think you can lose games, but the way we lost, and as you say, we didn't really play our game and we weren't ourselves. So I think that's the most painful, and that's why we wanted to show a different side today, and I think we all did that, so very happy.
You definitely did. Sometimes a team needs their captain. Was that a big part of your thinking? Don't look at anyone else. You're the skipper. Step up.
Yeah, I just try to help the team, This year I've been scoring more goals, so of course very happy to help the team. And granted with 2 good balls there, so it's just to be in the right areas, and then it's easier.
I was just going to say big credit to Granit. Is that training ground routine? And what are you thinking with your movements? Because for both of them, really, from a Chelsea perspective, they probably think they've got you in a little duck inside and you've got yourself that yard.
Yeah, I just try to be in the right areas. I think when the ball is on the left, it's a bit tricky sometimes when you have right-footed players, but as soon as I see Granit attack the space there, I know he's always going to put it in. So it's just about being there in the right areas and then try to hit the goal.
First goal in particular give you a lot of satisfaction. It's a lovely finish.
Yeah, it was a good finish, and I think we needed this goal, to really get the momentum of the game, and after this we controlled everything, so it was good.
Why was the second half messy?
I think we didn't keep the ball enough. They went a bit more direct, and after the duels we didn't keep the ball good enough, and then it's a bit chaotic, but in the end I win.
Lastly, you're top again, still there for you.
Yeah, we have to fight, we have to keep going. We'll believe until the end, we'll fight until the end, and that's what we're going to do. Have to look for the next one, and we'll see what happens.
Well, you're player of the match.
Thank you.
Well played.
Cheers. Thank you.
Well done, Martin. Cheers.
Yes, not to mention that is 14 Premier League goals for the season now for Martin Ødegaard. In Premier League history for Arsenal in central midfield, only Cesc Fabregas has ever scored more than that, and he got 15. That's some season on a personal level, first of all, and he had a very good first half as well.
Yeah,
tonight.
he did. Yeah, he's somebody that I was delighted. I couldn't believe we got him on loan in the first place. And when he came back, if we could get him again, because, his pedigree, what he's capable of, his ability, the fact that he's captain now, it's not like he's been at the club for many years, but being captain and leading by example, and chipping in with that many goals, he's been unbelievable. I think he's been player of the season, if I'm going to be totally honest. William Saliba was on that track, but obviously being injured. But Ødegaard's consistency for the whole season has been absolutely tremendous for us.
Did you think he had that many goals in him in that position in this Arsenal team?
I think the system that they've come upon this year has allowed him to go much higher up the pitch. That's why Zinchenko plays in there. They've copied City a little bit. Zinchenko's come into that midfield, so it releases a midfield player. And he goes and gets marked by centre-backs and then drifts into nice little pockets. Yeah. I felt he was much deeper. And let's face it, he's had a fantastic season. That's a great return. What about the assists? He's probably got a lot of assists as well as the goals he scored. But he was playing much deeper in the pitch. I think this is suiting him to just drift into those little pockets. The system has helped him no end. It really has. But the one thing he has done, he's produced. Yep. He's produced what the manager wants in that position. And he had an off day against City. That can happen to anyone. But I think he's been really consistent. I think he's taken the armband as captain and responded. Some people that can happen to, and you start playing other people's game for them, bossing people around. No, he's just responded within himself as to go and be an example the way he plays. So all round, I think he's been the best player, as Ian said, for Arsenal this season, the most consistent. And a place of the pitch where it's tough to be consistent. When you're further and you go up the pitch, it's harder to play up there.
Yeah, and whilst Chelsea didn't help themselves, he did ghost into that area.
Yeah, he did.
A couple of times for those goals, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. And like I say, when you look at, we picked up on the fact that Zinchenko, look at, there's no pressure on him. So, you know, when you're giving players of that calibre, that kind of time, you know, you're going to get look again, no pressure, and then brilliantly picked out by Granit Xhaka there, and then that's a lovely finish. You know, he's got the power on it. Like Gaffer, you highlighted this, how Zinchenko just got himself on the line.
Yeah, it didn't look so good inside,
No.
but he read the situation and pulled away. You see in there Kovacic look drifting in. You know, Chelsea are loose. They've been loose in the early part of the game, but this is all about, look at that clever little bit of movement.
Yeah.
It really was. And what a lovely finish. It's not an easy, it looks easy because the pitch is lovely. Look, the ball
Coming at pace
coming
as well.
across your body, you've got to stay over the top of it.
Yeah, he's done well there.
And he beats him for pace. As you say, the power's already on the ball.
Yeah.
He's only got to guide it. And I think he beats Kepa through pace rather than placement.
And almost a carbon copy for his second goal. Chelsea didn't learn their lesson.
Well, they didn't, and that's the mode Chelsea were in. Again, you look at Zinchenko, he might as well go in and try and challenge him. But every single player at the moment who picks the ball up, they've got time to get their foot, get on the ball. Look at this, have a look. You know, there again, look at Xhaka, time, space, and then Ødegaard just walks off of Raheem Sterling there. You know, because he gets himself in a position where who's picking him up? You know, I'm sort of Silva has a look at him. Sterling thinks who's picking him up. He's just got himself off the back of Sterling. Now Sterling can't see him, and as soon as Sterling turns round, he's gone. Bam, he's gone into the space, and that's all you need. That's enough. That's enough time.
And it's a sort of ball, really. You're looking at, there's blue shirts there. There's 4 blue shirts there. You're thinking one blue shirt's going to step out and intercept that. But it doesn't. It's perfectly weighted. And again, he hasn't tried, the key to that, he hasn't tried to lambast it. He hasn't tried to get his laces through it. It's coming across his body. He knows the pace is already on the ball, and he's just guided it. It looks like a miss it, but he's just guided it into that
target.
corner. It was really two really acute finishes.
Yeah, and the third one, again, as far as Chelsea were concerned, all too easy for Arsenal.
Well, when you look at the build-up again, you know, a poor clearance. That should have been a left-foot clearance there, but once it comes back out to Ben White, Raheem Sterling's got to get out there. He doesn't look. He's got time to look inside, get his leg up. Get his head up, I should say, and then, you know, Granit Xhaka's on the back post on his own. You've got the bodies in there, but it's a shambles for Chelsea. You know, look how slow. Look at Fofana. He's just in there. He came out very slowly. He's at the back. He's kept everybody on side almost, and then now it's just a case of can it drop to an Arsenal player? But just poor defending in general. You know, they're all over the place. Look at them, and then Jesus is there to just tuck it away. But that was enough for Chelsea and the way they played. That performance in the first half, they didn't deserve anything out of the game, when they didn't get anything.
Arsenal have come out of the traps really quick, and it was at a stage when Chelsea looked very fragile as a defensive unit. Whether the ball was at the back when Arsenal were trying to build through, they didn't press. Arsenal got in behind the 3 midfield players too easily, hence the 2 goals where they've come from. And then in that last line of defence, there was like a panic there. Yeah. They looked fragile. They didn't look like they were on their toes. They didn't look like they wanted to mark properly, you know. And that can't happen. They're the sort of things that every single game at this level, you've got to be at it. You've got to be at that. And if you do that job, you might get a draw out the game. You might not do enough with the ball or whatever to actually win the game. But you've got to be in the game. You've got to stay in the game. Particularly as we know Arsenal come out of the traps pretty quick at home. And they weren't there. They weren't there ready to take them punches.
Well, the thing is as well, you say they come out of the traps as well. We've seen that Arsenal can start slowly, depending on what kind of pressure you put on them. And I thought that Chelsea would have put them under pressure, but their press wasn't right because they weren't going as a team to press Arsenal to try and win the ball in their final third. And so Arsenal were very comfortable, you know, so they could get the ball out from the back into the midfield, up to the front men, and they could put pressure on Chelsea because Chelsea weren't tight enough on them. And so if you can do that, then you're going to create the chances, and then Arsenal did punish them when they create the chances.
No, listen, Chelsea have got a lot of work to do between now and the end of the season, but also in the summer. They've got to shift a lot of people out. They've got to get a manager in there that knows the way that they're going to play with the personnel that he's got. And, you know, Arsenal's still in the hunt. They've
I was going to come to that, yeah.
Handed it over to City. All right, you've got two games in hand. What are you going to do about it? I think City have got the fixtures that I think there's enough for them to actually go on and win it. But you never know in this league. Andy said in commentary, anything happens in it. It's such a tough league. And I think the fact, when I think back about the Arsenal scenario, right, when they went out of Europa, that's when I thought they're going to win this year. They'll go out of Europa. They're all disappointed, but I'm thinking, you know what? That could be a reason for you to go on and win it. And I think that's why it's really double sort of disappointing if they don't go on and win it, because they had a real opportunity there. They would have loved to have gone in and won that trophy, of course. But when they went out of it, I thought, wow, they've got everything going their way at the moment. But unless you're at it, like I'm saying, Chelsea have not been at it, every single game in this league, you get found out.
And you see teams like Southampton came to the Emirates, and this is what's happening now. If I'm a team getting ready to play Chelsea, I'm going for it, because they are fragile. They're not organised. They're not together. You know, I don't know what system they're playing at the moment. You know, it's a team that are, you know, if it is Pochettino that's going in there, then, you know, this is the perfect time for him, because he could go in and he can really negotiate himself control, because he's going to need to get control, because we know he likes young, impressionable players. They'll play a kind of a pressing game, and he's got the tools there. They're going to need to sort that out, like the gaffer said. They're going to need to sort that out, the summer, the manager, whatever it is. But they're going to need to do that very, very quickly.
Just getting back to Arsenal, I mean, who knows what the 2 games against Real Madrid's going to take out of City. But all Arsenal can do is keep doing their job as they've done tonight and just ask them a question.
That's all it is, Steve. You just ask the question. Like I said, I'm delighted with that performance tonight. Just don't fizzle out. That's what I want. They've played too well this season and got themselves in such a great position to not just fizzle out just because you're in Champions League now. You've done that, and that's what the goal was at the start of the season. But finish strong, because you never know what could happen.
And when you look at the 4 games left for your former club, obviously the next one is the most difficult. Only one team have won at St James's all season. In fact, 2 since Eddie Howe took the job. Yeah,
but the thing is Newcastle having a great season themselves, and they'll see Arsenal coming there as a team that they have to beat. I'm sure it's going to be a tough game, but I'm quite confident that we'll go up there with this win, knowing that we can cause them problems just like they can, because some of the lapses we had in the second half that Martin Ødegaard was talking about, I don't think we can afford to do that at Newcastle. Chelsea were nowhere near it. Newcastle will be. So we need to go there with an attitude of we must win again.
Yeah, and you look at them games, what is it, 9 games in that short period. It could be 10 if they get to the final of the Champions League. And if they get a couple of injuries, City, you know, they've got a squad that can handle injuries, of course. But, you know, if they just miss out on one of those, maybe their sights might be on Europe. You know, you never know. I do believe they'll win the league, and I think they'll go on and win Champions League myself. Whatever happens in the Manchester final, I don't know. That could be the one they get tripped up on. But it's a hell of a lot of games in a short period of time. It really is. I'm not sure they're going to win every single game. I really don't. But
it's as long as they lose the Premier League games.
But if Arsenal keep winning, then at least that's in their mind, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, that's all Arsenal can do. You know, this is why, you know, if it doesn't happen, you know, then you look back at those 3 games with those 7 points that Arsenal maybe could have had, one you know, against, even if you win you draw the Liverpool game, win the other 2, you know, that's 7 points. You know, 7 points now with the 2 games in hand, you're still in front with them having 9 games. But we can't look back on that now. The fact is that all we can do is win the games. I thought this would have been a tough one, but it wasn't. We made it easy, and you just got to go to the next one now.
And let's speak to one of the key components. Granit Xhaka is waiting to speak live to us at the Emirates Stadium. Thanks for joining us, Granit. It was all about the response tonight. How pleased were you with it, particularly that first half?
Yeah, thanks, first of all, and I think we deserve to win today. The first 60 minutes, I had the feeling that we had a very good game. We needed this reaction as well from our team after 4 games. We didn't win, and the reaction was here with the fans from our side, and great 3 points from us.
And a very fast start. Was that it? Was that in your mind with a point to prove?
Absolutely. I mean, every game now is a final for us. We have to go for it, and hopefully in the end we can hope that we can do something. But first of all, we have to look after ourselves, and we did today the first step.
Granit, fantastic tonight. 2 great assists from you. Again, simply playing this further forward, picked out 2 great passes for Martin Ødegaard. How are you feeling about your new position, being more forward, being more like creative, scoring more goals?
Yeah, this was a new role from Mikel as well. He gave me before we started the season. He wanted much more scorer points from my side, scoring and giving assists. It's always good if you can help the team, and yeah, great finish as well for Martin. I think not both of them was easy to take.
And the first half, I was hoping that you'd have got that one. It just kind of got stuck under your feet a little bit. I could see you curling it into that side of the goalkeeper. Was you a bit disappointed with that one?
Yeah, I think I can score today as well. Kepa had two or three great saves as well. Yeah. In the second half, I think he made a great save. But first of all, I'm happy that we won and the reaction was well, and hopefully can continue like this.
And as we've just been saying, Granit, all you can do now is your job and keep winning and keep asking the question, which is what you've done tonight and back on top of the league.
Absolutely. This is what we need to do. We need to first to win our games, and after we have to hope now, for sure. But I'm sure that if we win our games, that maybe we can do it in the end.
Granit, I just want to say I'm so pleased and proud of the way the players came back from that Manchester City defeat. Was that something that we were thinking about at the start of this game, that we're going to start fast? Because some of the times we've been starting a little bit slowly and getting caught off guard. Was that something that we wanted to start fast against Chelsea?
Of course, you are very disappointed if you go to Manchester and you lose the game clearly for one. We didn't want this to happen, but this is part of football, of our job. And the most important thing was today to give the fans as well something back, but as well ourselves. And this team needs this energy, and I think the energy today was excellent.
And finally, Granit, quick word for your captain. Obviously, you assisted him twice. He's 14 league goals now from midfield, Martin Ødegaard.
He's doing a great season. First of all, he's a professional guy. He's day by day the same, and he's so important for us. He's a very quiet guy, but very, very important, a lot of quality. And yeah, hopefully next weekend he can give me two as well.
Very well done tonight. Appreciate you joining us.
Thank you very much. All the best, guys.
Granit Xhaka with a big smile on his face. And that was the most important thing tonight, to see those smiles again from an Arsenal point of view.
Well, it was, because I think that for a young side and a young team that's really trying to hold off a juggernaut like Manchester City, you know, the stick that they got for free draws, you know, not losses, free draws. You know, we know that Manchester City are so strong in this at this stage of the season. And I think that they've done well to come back, stay in it, and play a Chelsea side that, yes, they weren't very good tonight, but they really put them away. They put them away. So the mentality's strong. And all they can do, and you can hear it from them now, is just to continue to just take the next game and try and win those next games.
And that mentality, that impressed you tonight? Did you have any doubts that Arsenal would show that?
No, I think they were up for the game, and rightly so. They've hit a bit of a wall, but that's the way to respond. With the way they played with the ball that first half, you know, it was not so much how we're going to defend. I think it was a very aggressive way. Mikel would have said, come on, we're better than we have been the last 4 games. Let's go and play. We're playing a fragile team here. Let's see if they are really got a soft centre. They found out that Chelsea have got a soft centre, and they went for the throat. I like the fact that they managed the game pretty well. They knew for 60 minutes they were in control of that game. They slowed the game down. They knew that Chelsea were throwing bodies forward. They tracked people back and they defended in numbers. So they you know, there's different ways to win a football match. You haven't got in this league. You can't dictate for 90 minutes plus with the ball and play your open football. So I think they're learning. They're a team that are learning. And yes, they've got to go and win the 4 games. They've got to go and win all 4 games, because if City do actually trip up and they haven't done their own business, my word, they'll be upset with themselves, won't they? So they've got to go and get their business done with the 4 matches. Not easy. Newcastle and Brighton particularly. But, you know, I still think City, obviously, with the games in hand, have got to be favourites.
Let's nip back to the Emirates, talk to the